Hello and welcome everyone. It is 11:30 Central, so we will get started. Thank you for tuning into today's webinar, Career Exploration Activities for Middle or High School Classrooms. My name is Emily and I will be your moderator for today's presentation. Presenting today, we have Samantha Forehand. She is the Marketing Communications Manager here at Realityworks. Samantha has been with the company for over 15 years, helping us increase awareness of experiential learning opportunities in areas of CTE, family and consumer sciences, health and human services, maternal and child health. She is also a frequent presenter on topics regarding CTE, soft skills, and student engagement at education conferences and trade shows. She is a fantastic resource for today's presentation. But before we get started, I do want to cover a couple things. First, today's presentation is being recorded and everybody will receive a link to that recording as well as a copy of the PowerPoint that Sam is going to be going over. Also, for attending today's presentation, you will receive a certificate of completion. You should see that in your inbox within 24 hours after the webinar. Also, we will have time at the end for a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat feature or the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen, and we can answer those at the end. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to Samantha to get us going.
All right. Thank you, Emily. And thank you, everybody, for joining our webinar today. This is a really fun topic. We are excited to share a lot of ideas and resources on, and look forward to getting some questions at the end or even some idea sharing at the end if we get that opportunity. Just to touch again a little more about Realityworks, we develop and create products and programs for career and technical education. And with the development of our products, we get out into a lot of classrooms and get to talk to educators and gain ideas. We do a lot of research to learn more about our various topics that we're creating products for. And the reason we do webinars like this is we want to share that information. So not only share a little bit about Realityworks products, but share some of the information that we have learned from our partners, our educators, as well as our research in different topics. So today, what we get to talk about is career exploration. Now, one thing I love to do during presentations, whether it's live or webinar style, is to get you doing some sort of activity. And since we're in webinar, I am going to ask you throughout the presentation just to write down some various ideas. So take 10 seconds here, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, grab a tablet, however you want to kind of take some notes. And I want you to write down 2 or 3 things that you are hoping to learn from this webinar on career exploration. I will give you right about 30 seconds to think about that. And with writing these down, what I want you to do is throughout the presentation, just take a look at that and say, okay, is my questions or is what I was hoping to getting answered? And if it's not, at the end, I'd love you to throw that in the chat and maybe somebody else has an idea they can share, or maybe we can point some other resources to you. But our goal is to try to hit on stuff that you're hoping for based on the description of our presentation that we have. So the plan for this presentation today, let's dig in, find out what is career exploration and where is it being taught. Then I'm going to share 5 ideas, 5 simple things that we think you can do today to be able to incorporate that into your classrooms and schools. And then throughout the presentations and at the end, we're going to share a lot of links and free resources with you. Another thing we'll do throughout the presentation is you'll see my little graph here, this little wood guy in yellow, and I call him my Think, Pair, Share. And Think, Pair, Share is an activity I like to do live or in classrooms because it's a great activity to get everybody critically thinking, get everybody communicating, doing teamwork, presentation skills. In the webinar format, we'll really be doing more of that think and jotting down different ideas. But you'll see this pop up throughout the presentation. And I'm going to just pause for a minute and have you write down some of the various questions or ideas I come up with. This is a way to get us all really thinking about the topic and learning together with one another. So our first question here is going to be, what is career exploration? So we have our Think, Pair, Share person up there. Let's all think together. How would you define career exploration? You know, career exploration is very buzzy right now, and there's lots of different explanations of what it could be, but I want you to write down what you believe it is. All right. So what we're going to do is look at 3 different definitions we have found out there on the great World Wide Web. The first one we have comes to us from the Applied Educational Systems. This is a really great definition. They say career exploration is the process of researching, evaluating, and learning about modern work opportunities and how students can pursue the career of their choice. Our next one is from the California, Berkeley. They say career exploration is simply learning about various career occupations and their fit. I love that fit is in quotes there. Their fit with your unique career preferences, examples, the skills, interests, and values that you want to satisfy your career. And our last one from Pepperdine University, career exploration involves learning more about yourself, researching your options, trying new experiences, and creating a strategic plan to reach your professional goals. Now, when I look at all of those definitions, I kind of pulled some of my key things, my favorite things of it. And my definition for career exploration is that it is the process to learn about and evaluate career opportunities based on one's own interests. This is a discovery process, and it should be fun. So as your students get to learn more about themselves and what their future could hold, it should be a time for them to learn and discover what opportunities are out there for jobs that they can have. So really, career exploration, it should be fun and it should be informative. It's a chance to get to learn more about yourself and your interests and your values and be able to find a career to satisfy that. So where is career exploration being taught today? Well, a lot of research says start in middle school. It's got to start in middle school. This is a time where students are on a path for success before they go on to high school. They can determine in middle school maybe what CTE classes they want to attend when they get to high school. They can potentially even think about post-secondary opportunities beyond high school. They can start early before their freshman year and identify potential jobs that they would want to have. But also high school, why not in high school? Why can't we do career exploration there? Well, high school is where your students are going to know a little bit more about themselves. They might actually have jobs or internships or even apprenticeships, and that's a great time for them to do career exploration. And really the way I see it, it's of course both. Career exploration can be done in both middle school and high school. There's nothing wrong with doing it in either or in both. Anytime you can expose careers to your students, they can learn, discover, evaluate potential careers, and start to create the path for themselves. There's so many different types of classes that can offer career exploration opportunities for your students. We have seen in middle schools, it's very common to be in specific classes that sometimes are even called career exploration, or maybe it's just a unit in a life skills class, or career readiness is another class that I've seen it in. In high school, you know, that's where we start to see our more specific CTE classes, and those CTE classes can offer career exploration for those specific career fields. CTSOs is a huge place where we're seeing career exploration because those are your career and technical student organizations that are going to offer competition and places to explore careers. So really wherever it can be offered is great. It's just really giving students those chances to be exposed to what opportunities that they can find with career exploration. So I just want you to jot down, is there a high school or middle school class that you have now that is offering it or potentially could offer it, a unit on it? So many different places, so many different names of career classes out there. What I love though is that the opportunity to put in a class or a topic or a lesson on it is endless. There's so much we can do with career exploration at both the middle school and high school. So as you start to think, okay, we know we have to offer it, or maybe we do have to offer it, where do we get started? What do we do? How do we incorporate it? What are some of those ideas? So I want to jump into our 5 ideas of career exploration, of getting career exploration into those classes. So our first idea is research. So research can really be the step in career exploration that introduces students to specific careers to help them understand them more. So the steps for research that I have identified is first, create a list of careers that the students can look at. There's so many different options and ways you can create a list. You could look at your industry in your area, look at the CTE offerings at your high schools, try to relate careers to those CTE offerings, look at the post-secondary offerings in your area and what careers could come off of the post-secondary offerings, ask high school career counselors, or even go on Google and just look at trending careers. There is tons of lists out there, but really it's nice to have a list to start to work off of so that it's a little bit narrowed and can make the research quicker for your students. The second step for taking time to research is give parameters for your students to be looking at when they're looking at careers. So different parameters that I suggest, I always say keep it simple, but make it fun. So wage, what are they going to make at that job? Typical job tasks that they would do, education needed, the job outlook, maybe key soft skills or employability skills that they would need to be successful. So you want to give them that list of careers, give them parameters that they're researching, and then the next step, have your students choose a career to go out and research and start to research. So it could be the students pick 1 off the list or 2 off the list. Maybe you make each student pick a different career, or maybe some people have the same career and could find different things about it. But really let the students pick what's interesting to them. Next, in taking time to research, you want to share some places that they could learn more about a career. Lots of different places if you're looking out on the internet, or else maybe you want them to connect with a professional in that career, but share some places they can research that career. And then the last step is after they have all of their research done, have them present to one another. So all the students can learn from each other. So this is one website that I really like. We've used it in some of our own marketing to learn about careers and our product development. But this website is the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's really user-friendly, and that's really why I like it. So that is the link to get out to the career exploration section. And what you would do is you would actually click right on this show button. It's this expander, and then it's going to list careers underneath that topic. So under healthcare here, you can see they have more information on a pharmacist, dentist, registered nurse, optometrist, and doctor. So then if I click on the registered nurse, it actually opens up this great profile. There are videos. There you can see our parameters we talked about, like the pay and the education needed. There's just so much information out on this website for students to be able to really discover more about the career. So again, you can give your students the various careers they could look at, give them a place to search that out, give them their parameters. And a site like this is just great for them to be able to pull that information and then be able to digest it and present back to their fellow classmates. Our next idea in career exploration we have for you is use your community. This could almost fall a little bit in your research, or it could be an expanded or a next step to your research idea that we shared. Our community has a lot to offer, and it's going to show us what local industry has for job opportunities. Industry and community really want to help our local schools. You just have to ask. Just ask some of those places, those industry professionals out there if they could help. And I know that they will. I know that here at Realityworks, we love to get out in the schools and share what we do to be able to show our students what opportunities that they have. So some ideas that you can use your community for. First, guest speakers. Now this could be virtual or live, but you could have various people come in and talk about their career, talk about the education they have, talk about typical day on the job, and really talk about what they love from their job to get students inspired about their potential career path that they could go down. Along with guest speakers, panel discussions are great. Getting several speakers to talk about their jobs. The same way a speaker would do, but a panel, it's going to bring, several speakers with different backgrounds to share different opportunities. Another great way to use a panel is to even go to post-secondary professors and have them come in to talk about the courses that they teach, maybe at a tech school or at a university, and what those courses are going to give students to then take on to a future career. So not just needing industry, don't just think industry professionals, also think about those post-secondary professors as well. You really want to have your students come prepared with questions anytime you're going to do guest speakers or panel discussions. So that's just a tidbit to have them ready for when those speakers are there. Company tours is another fun one. I know at Realityworks, we bring in a health academy. They come in, they tour Realityworks, and then they get to use some of our products. And it's a chance for them to just learn more about the careers we offer at Realityworks, but then products that we sell into education that they could be using along their education path to then eventually get to their career. So just asking those various companies in the area, can we tour and just have somebody speak about what their jobs are? And with that, student interviews of those professionals, either on the company tour or taking a guest speaker and having them do a deeper dive with a student, really is going to give the students a chance to interview a professional and learn more firsthand about what it took to get into the career that they are in. So here's our little think guy popped up. Just jot down on your paper. This question I have for you: have you ever used your community to help with your career exploration activities? If you have, write down that idea, or else write down one way you could use your community, or even one person you could reach out to be a guest speaker, a panelist, or to give your students a company tour. All right. Hope you guys are getting some good ideas written down, some things you can implement. Now we're going to jump on to our next idea of incorporating soft skills. So whether you define soft skills as employability skills or bedside manner, really trying to incorporate soft skills into your career exploration is just a win-win for everybody. It's such an opportunity to teach students key skills that are going to help them in the careers that they go on. We have heard a lot and seen a lot in our research that hard skills are probably what's going to get the person in the door for a future career, but those soft skills are what's going to make them successful and keep that job on the long term. So really, anytime you can incorporate some soft skills into your career exploration lessons is going to be great for your students. A few ways you can incorporate soft skills. First one, teamwork, group work. This is a great way to just build that skill of working with others. You could assign group projects. Thinking back to our research project, you could assign a group healthcare. Each student can go specific careers within healthcare, and then they work together to come up with that presentation. Really what it's doing is it's forcing them to cooperate with somebody else and do teamwork, but it's a valuable lesson of getting them to understand what it's like to work with other people, which is so important when they get into the professional workspace. Now, reflection activities is huge. It's so big for critical thinking. Reflection activities are going to allow the information that you're teaching to become more meaningful for those students. And it's such an in-demand soft skills, is being able to really critically think about a situation students are in. So when you can encourage reflection, is make it fun, make it something the students can sit down and think about. You could incorporate it into journaling. You could incorporate it into a think, pair, share like we have been doing, really getting the students to think about a question, write it down, have to look at the situation they could be in, and then share it as well. So reflection can be used all the time to be able to hone in on critical thinking. And then finally, role playing is another a big one because this is helping with communication, another lacking skill we have seen in our research on soft skills. But it can be so great because it can build students' confidence, it can promote self-esteem, and of course, it's just a great method to let the students kind of drive the activity and learn from one another. So incorporating your soft skills into any career exploration is actually pretty easy because you're probably already doing it. It's just taking that extra step to be able to get students to know that they're learning about soft skills too. Of course, I put the Think, Pair, Share. It's a great activity to do. Now, here's a resource for you. If you go out to realityworks.com/resources/classroom ideas, we offer a lot of free resources on employability skills or soft skills. We have some lessons on resume and interviewing skills. We have different posters with discussion topics on soft skills that can be incorporated. Lots on scenario-based learning. For Realityworks, scenario-based learning is a huge way to hone in on soft skills because it's that method of putting students into real-world situations to get them to critically think about how they could handle a situation. And we do offer career-specific scenario cards that you can download for free, or else we have packs that you can buy as well. But it's a great part with career exploration is that those specific career scenario cards will give an example of a workplace situation they could be in, and they have to critically think how they would handle that and what are the viewpoints of each of those people within that situation. And they are cards specific to various careers that students could go into. Now, Realityworks does offer a few out-of-the-box programs as well for employability skills. We have, and as well as leadership skills, and then larger packs of those soft skills scenario-based cards. So at realityworks.com/soft skills implementation, you can once again get those free resources, but also learn about the programs that we have to offer. So CTSOs, this is our next idea. So those career and technical student organizations. So how can CTSOs help with career exploration? Well, each CTSO program helps students develop lifelong skills such as developing interpersonal relationships, teamwork, and setting and achieving goals. Research has really shown that membership in a CTSO fosters and develops that positive leadership skills for students. And CTSO members are more likely to take an active role in their community. So your students that are going to participate in CTSOs can demonstrate a higher level of academic engagement and motivation, civil engagement, career self-efficiency, and really those employability skills that we touched on. And the more the students participate in these, the better. So there's tons of research on the benefits of CTSOs out there. And what I really like about CTSOs is they have so many different components for career exploration. So we did dig into one. We looked at FCCLA. And here, if you look at that link right there, the career pathways flyer.pdf, they do a great job of pulling out various careers that you can have that really link to that CTSO of FCCLA. And it gives that outline of that occupation depending on the cluster. So the link's available there. It's a great resource for you. And this is another one of those great places in that research idea that we shared that you can learn more about a career. So CTSOs is a great place to, one, get your students prepared for careers if they are part of it, but then also to find some great resources for students to learn about careers. And not only are CTSOs a great place to have students get more engaged with career exploration, to find those resources, there's tons of competitions in CTSOs that have career exploration. So here's an example of FCCLA's and HOSES competition events that really do align with career exploration. So whether you're encouraging your school to have these available, both at middle school and high school, or encouraging your students to participate, it's just a great way to get them prepared for careers. And our last idea that we have, incorporate hands-on learning tools. So Realityworks creates simulators and hands-on learning tools to help students learn more about different skills that they could have in their careers. Now, when it comes to hands-on learning tools, we know that this is a great way to captivate our 21st century students, those that need to be engaged with what they're doing. You know, hands-on learning tools can do that for them, and they can definitely help them discover more about potential careers that they could go into. When our students get to experience what they may do on the job, they can see if that would interest them at all. Some examples from Realityworks. I just threw some pictures up there. We have lots of different learning aids. Not saying Realityworks is the only place that do that. There's lots of different ways you could do this, either do it yourself or other companies. But a few examples from Realityworks. One, the picture with our electrical wiring kit. This introduces students to the basics of electrical wiring safety in a all-in-one kit in a shock-free manner, I like to say. Uses a battery-operated assessment kit to be able to test if the students correctly wired either an outlet or a light socket correctly. So it's a way they can work with their hands and determine, was this fun? Was this interesting? What did I learn about it? Another really popular one, especially for middle schools, is our GuideWeld VR welding simulator. It allows students to learn just really those basic welding careers in a safe environment. We hear a lot that students are afraid to get out in a welding booth. Well, when you put them in a virtual environment, it gives them that opportunity to see if they really like being able to weld. And is this interesting? And is this something maybe I feel a little safer now going in a welding booth, and wow, this was a career I never would have tried out because I was afraid of getting in there. But getting to do it in the virtual world gives them that chance to discover if that is of interest to them or not. So simulators and hands-on learning tools are not only fun to get students engaged and learn some skills, but it's a way that they can discover what they're going to actually do in their careers to see if that is something of interest to them. So is there any, I want you to get out your paper again and write down, is there any hands-on learning tools, either do it yourself, Realityworks, or other organization tools that you could use to get students to actually do a hard skill, but then discover what the career would be like with that, knowing that hard skill. So just jot down maybe an idea of something you have incorporated. All right. So we've shared a few different ideas of ways you can incorporate career exploration into your classroom, but now I just wanted to share a plethora of other free resources out there for you to be able to discover some more easy ways of implementing career exploration. The first one is realityworks.com/career exploration implementation. This is a page out on our website. We offer I believe 7 or 8 different career exploration lesson plans. And what these lesson plans do is they will be on a topic. So it could be on a topic of agriculture, and then it could be 5 different careers students could go in within agriculture, and it gives them some specific research opportunities, some specific questions they could ask professionals. So it's really well laid out career exploration, and it goes into so many different career areas. So whether you're teaching a broadband career exploration class, or you're getting niche and maybe just doing healthcare, that is out there for you to be able to download. Also on this page, we have various hands-on learning products that we've seen be very popular within career exploration classes. We have access to free downloadable posters and various blogs about topics like career exploration and incorporating it either in middle school or high school, or many other topics too. Now, ACTE, the Association of Career and Technical Education, put out a paper called Career Exploration in Middle Schools, Setting Students on a Path to Success. This is a great report that has taught us a lot about what's needed out there, but what you can learn is the 6 recommendations for implementing middle school career exploration. Now, they recommend integrating project-based learning and activity that integrates employability skills or soft skills, as we talked about, how you can engage your local business and industry if it's possible, your CTSO connections, and so on. So it's a great paper, especially if you're trying to start a middle school career exploration either class or lesson or incorporate it, a great free download for you to be able to kind of learn more and maybe build a case for why you need that in your school too. Another resource, Realityworks offers tons of webinars throughout the year, and each month we try to do 3 or 4 various topics. So realityworks.com/webinars. These are free webinars. You get a certificate of completion after you attend one. So check those out to see what other topics that we have. And then finally, I just want us all to jump back to our notes. Hopefully you took some ideas down and notes throughout the presentation. And I want you to ask yourself, okay, was what I was looking for in this webinar answered today? Or do I have a question, or do I want some other ideas from those on the call? So you can go into the chat, I believe, at the top. And if you want to write any of those ideas or questions, and Emily, our moderator, and I can read those off for the entire group.
Awesome, Sam. So one of the questions that kept coming in is these are great resources and they want links to them. So just a reminder for everybody, after the webinar within 24 hours, you will get an email with a link to the recording as well as a link to Sam's PowerPoint slides where you can access all of those resources. Also, you will be receiving a certificate of completion for attending the presentation live today. I also wanted to mention, we do have a survey on that email. If you are looking for a topic, webinar topic that we haven't covered yet, you can definitely give us some suggestions and we can come up with some webinar ideas on there. And then just waiting for a couple more minutes on questions, Sam.
Okay. Yeah, we would love you to fill out that survey and share other ideas of topics. That is something our teams here love to do, is share ideas that we have, but we want to know, what do you want to hear about?
Oh, Sam, one question came in. Do you have any ideas for icebreakers with classes of students who don't know each other previously?
Oh, ideas. One of my favorite is just question cards. So we talk about this sometimes when we do soft skills specific presentations, but it's having a deck of cards. It's also a great Friday activity or sub activity with just a question on it. And it could be what TV show did you watch in the last week? Or what is one place you have visited that got you excited about a career? It could just be a list of different questions, and you could go out to your family and friends and say, hey, give me a discussion question. Doesn't have to do anything with my class. And then when the students come in, pair them together, hand them a question, and they have to ask each other that question. And what it makes them do is communicate with one another, but it also gets them to learn something about another person. What's a great book that you've recently read? Have you ever had a job, and what's something funny that happened at it? Have you gone to a new restaurant in town, and what did you think? It could just be any off-the-wall questions. Also, Google is a great source if you just look up like discussion topics or icebreaker questions, and just have that deck of cards and hand it out and make the students talk to each other and interact.
Awesome. And we did have a little issue with our chat. It was disabled. So if anybody does want to type any comments or any questions in the chat, it should be enabled right now. So you should be able to use that chat feature as well as the Q&A if anybody does have any additional questions. All right, Tim. Well, I'm not seeing any additional questions coming in at this time.
All right. Well, thank you all for attending. We look forward to getting the PowerPoint out. Feel free to message our chat on our website or email us back with any questions or any ideas that you have. We'd love to hear your ideas. And thank you. Have a great rest of the summer if you're not back to school, or else I hope back to school is going great for you. Thanks for attending.